Okay, so today I'm here with Anisha Jones. She is a transformational coach and chief joy officer, but I'll let her introduce herself.
Okay, thank you so much, Rachel. And I do appreciate you having me come on and to give a little insight of how we would have gotten a number of things accomplished together. So, just for your audience, my name is Anisha Jones. I am a transformational coach and chief joy officer. I have a background in a number of things, marketing, business administration, but I'm certified in positive psychology coaching. And my main goal in life is to help women who are in midlife to feel empowered, to get clarity and feel confident as they approach their midlife journey. So I use all of the skills and experiences that I have from over the years, and I create programs where I help women navigate midlife so that they are feeling clear about it and that they recognize that they can use all of the wisdom that they've gained in their life so far to create a really, truly magical, uplifting, empowered life in their 40s and beyond.
That is, oh, just nearly moved my microphone there. That is a powerful mission and something that's really needed for women as we're going through our midlife, because sometimes it can feel as if our best years are behind us, isn't it?
That is the biggest scam out there. It really is not true. Midlife is the time when we are a lot more grounded. We've experienced enough to know that we can survive some things,
Hmm.
and the trick is the hack is to know that when you are facing something to recognize, hey, I faced a lot of things in my 20s, I'm still here. I faced a lot of things in my 30s and I'm still here. Going to use all that wisdom that I did, all of the things that all of the habits, all of the routines, all of the information that I had used back then to create a really easy way to move forward. And instead of being stuck, you get yourself you pull on your wisdom and you move forward to create the life that you truly want on your
That
own
is
terms.
that's a beautiful mission, a really beautiful mission. So we got in touch. I think it was LinkedIn. I don't know who sent who to connect, but I can't remember. But
It
we
was
found
on
each other.
LinkedIn.
It was
Yeah,
through LinkedIn. And
yeah,
then you came along to the Design Your Life workshop that I held
yes,
earlier this year.
yes, yes.
What made you come along to that?
Okay, so for me, at this point in my life, and this is something that I encourage the women that I work with to do, is when I make decisions, I like to pull on three things: information, intuition, and instinct. I believe all three play an important role, right? And so I saw you and what you were saying, that the information that you were sharing really resonated with me. And then I recognized that you were very consistent. So instinctively, I know that at that point in my life, I really wanted to make sure that whenever I engage with people, it's people who are consistent and had the information that they wanted. So that was two boxes that was checked. And my intuition told me it was a good thing to do. I remember like 2 days before I was speaking to somebody and said that was saying I was telling them that I love taking these long drives to the country. That's one of the ways I feel better. Whenever I feel like my head is full, I take a long drive. And I say the west side is the best side for that. I remember
Yeah.
saying that. And then when I saw that you were hosting the conference in on the west side of the island, I'm like, yeah, I think that's what I need to do. And so based on those three criteria, like you were sharing the information, I know what I wanted to hear, I know what I needed. I saw your consistency. So my instincts was like, this is a good place to be, and in the intuition part I just knew I needed to be there.
Yeah, sorry. So you were saying it was up on that side, and I like that where you said you take the long drives up just to clear your head. And yeah, so that all kind of fit together because I
It all
instead of
fit.
having it in the city, I was having it up in the countryside.
So it worked. It
Yeah.
checked all the boxes of what I needed.
And I wasn't gonna I hadn't put down that I was gonna ask you about it, but how did you find coming to the workshop? How was it for you?
I loved it. You know in coaching and in personal development overall, we recognize that environment has a lot to do with how you respond to things.
Mm,
And I recognize that sometimes when we step out of the environment that we used to, and people can see this. Sometimes you go on vacation and you have the biggest breakthroughs. It's like you leave the
yeah.
environment that you're used to, and now you're in a new place, and somehow your mind feels a little more expansive. And so it felt like that for me, coming out of my usual environment, where I'm from, where I work, in St. David's and St. George's, and I was up in this place further off. I was meeting new people, and
Mm,
it just the change of environment allowed me to be open, and I was able to receive the information that you were sharing. I was able to see other people getting their little mini breakthroughs as well, and it really did work. And then I like the early morning drive, so the that worked for me very well. I
mm.
appreciated that.
Yeah, and that was one of the important things as well, where you speak about coming out of your environment, because
Mhm.
even if it's just for a couple of hours, it's really important to be in a space where you can immerse yourself in
Mhm.
that space and just be away from everything else, all the normal distractions of life as
That's
well.
true.
And the surround and the grounds there are beautiful anyway. So
It's
it's just in a
gorgeous.
space that, just so lovely to reflect on where you are, where you want to be. And I'm guessing it kind of ties in with your message of joy as well, because
That's
you know what I mean?
it.
It's just so lovely. You can't help but
It
be joyful up
it
there.
is. It's exactly it. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of joy has to do with, beauty and appreciation, and that ground just screams that
Mm.
beautiful, tranquil. So I thought it was a beautiful place for you to have that
Mm.
conference. I appreciate that.
And then coming out of that, that's when we started working together. So,
Yes.
what made you realize that you needed support at that time of your journey?
Okay, so wait, before I answer, is it okay to share about the letter? Because I know that's like a
Oh, yeah,
proprietary thing, or it's okay to talk about it.
that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay. Um, yeah, coming out of the conference, you did a number of exercises, but one of the one that truly helped me to recognize that I needed to take a bigger step if I wanted to see the change that I wanted for myself was the 6 months letter. And just to
Mm,
explain it, guys, what she did is have us write a letter to ourselves, our future selves, and we would have had to open it 6 months later. So we would be saying, I achieved this, I was able to go here, I was able to do this. So the things that you wanted to do for the next 6 months, you're writing this letter to yourself, basically thanking yourself, or otherwise to say that, hey, we did it.
mm,
And while I was writing, I recognized that there were a few things that I know I could do, I know I wanted to do. I just wasn't sure what's the next best step to
mm,
do it. And so while you held on to the letter first to open it, after it was in my mind, like, how do I get that? Because I recognize it was a very vulnerable experience doing that letter, because I was completely honest about the things that I wanted. And I was like, geez, I really truly want this. And one of the things I wanted was to move my brand from um, the 5 years to 40 brand to the season to soar brand, and to really line up and start offering the things that I wanted to offer to the people who I know need it. I just wasn't sure of how the steps would pan out. And in writing that, I recognized, you know what, I need to get the right help to help me to move forward. And then the days that followed, I recognized, well, this is where you had a breakthrough. So this might be a good place for you to help move forward. This it's not that it is a delay. It's not that that you are feeling like if you can't move forward, this might be the place to help you get the steps in order. So that's when I recognize it would be, good for us to at least try to see how we can do that. And upon approaching you, I found the same thing that you did in the conference itself, the being
mm,
organized, the being confident, the being consistent was there. So there was no part of the onboarding process that I found like I was wondering what is happening next.
Mm.
You had it all
Yeah,
laid
that
out,
could be
and
unnerving. Yeah.
yeah, and that's important for me. My personality is, I really do appreciate people who are organized and systems that are organized, because I feel like when you take the guesswork out of it, now I like spontaneous, but when you take the guesswork out of the things that you could manage, it frees up so much
Mm.
time for you to do other
Yeah.
things that are joyful. You could relax more. You could go to the beach because you have systems in place
Yeah.
to handle the things, So when I recognize that's how you operated, I'm like, this I know is what I want in my life.
Mm.
So that's why I continued, and we're able to do something pretty amazing in 90 days, I think.
Mm. Yeah, so you came on and you did do a 90-day program. And what made, I'm just looking at some of the questions that I have. What was it that you were struggling with really when you
Mm.
came into the program? What did you need help with?
Okay, so before launching Season to Soar, um, I had a brand that was 5 years to 40. So this was
Mhm.
me chronicling all of the challenges, all of the exciting opportunities that came along with getting to age 40. Because age 40 was this thing at one point where people felt like it was the end of all,
Yeah.
only to recognize it's actually the beginning of the best part of your life. But I had all this information, and now I was not entirely clear about how to move from 5 years to 40 to Season to Soar. I know that's what I want. I know this was the end goal, 5 years to 40, but I wasn't, that bridge didn't have any steps on it for me as yet. So I know I needed somebody who would be from the outside looking in, who'd be able to guide me through the process. And
Oh,
that's what we were able to do. I was able to actually have a formal launch, you know, um,
yeah, you did. Yeah.
formal launch of Season to Soar, which was so satisfying for me this year. I think it's one of the best things I was able to do for the year so far, to just have a start date for this thing that I wanted to do for a very long time, and to also formally end the 5 years to 40, you know, wrap it up then. So while there's still information out there for people who are on that journey, it's me fully embodying this is my season to soar. And I was stuck in limbo for a little while, and because of our coaching, I was able to break free, which is what you want us to do, right?
Yeah.
Break free from the dual role of 5 years to 40 and season to soar, and I was able to, you know, move fully into that season to soar program now. So yeah.
And that's the thing, because as you grow as a coach, your message grows as well. So Season to Soar was great for that period, that season. Not Season to Soar, 5 years to
5 years to
40
40.
was
Hmm.
great for that season where you were, that period of your life. And then,
Hmm.
but then you as a coach yourself, you've grown and
Hmm.
you've reached your season to soar. And it's about bringing people with you as well. And then meeting those who are there and need that support as well.
Hmm.
So when you were thinking about going the coaching, you thought, okay, this is the next best step to move you forward. Did you have any hesitations? Because I know for me going into coaching, sometimes there was some hesitations. Did you have any hesitations?
Lots.
Mm.
I did. Um, let's see. So the top one was that I felt as though I was not, I would not be able to. I thought it was identity, I think was the main thing.
Mm.
Identity and then visibility. So identity in the first part, because for a very long time, I think all people know about me is that, well, I am someone involved in business. I am somebody involved in what I'm qualified for, marketing and
Yeah.
business administration. Those are my qualifications. And now here I am talking about coaching. It's like, what? So while I know in myself that I have always been a person to share information with people, I always want to leave people better than I left them. I believe that you should focus on being like just good to people. Not necessarily nice, and this might be a little taboo, but I just feel like, you need to, the way you show up for yourself and the way you show up for other people, you can actually help people to become better. This has always been a thing for me personally. And here I am now, coming from a strong business background and deciding I want to get into coaching. So the identity thing was scary for me. I had a lot of hesitation about it. And then secondly, it was the visibility part. So while I love sharing, visibility is oddly hard for me. So if I would work with people, help people, I'm here. Tell me you want me to help you to do something, I would do it. But when it comes to seeing my name, it for some reason is just difficult. And
Mm.
throughout the process, I recognized that there were things, some bigger than the other, that would have probably been just I would have had them for years. Um, I am a second sister to four sisters, five siblings, and that grew up together. I have more siblings with five siblings that grew up together. And I've always been the supporting actress. So
Right.
I have siblings with huge personalities. Um, and I'm usually the one to help, you know, weave everybody together. And I love that. I love that about myself. Like, this is happening. Oh, I hear this person's perspective. I hear this person's perspective. Let's connect it. Let's get everybody to move forward. And I'm good at that wherever I go. So I do it with my family, I do it at work, I do it wherever my group is, wherever I connect people well. But that also means that you fade it into the background
Yeah.
really easily. And when I decided now to do this coaching thing, I had to be fully out
Mm.
front. And it confronted a lot of the beliefs I had about myself and the beliefs I thought other people had about me. So
Hmm.
I had to work through that, and we were able to work through that, and it really helped me.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that visibility one is a big one, especially where you're working in corporate. And like you said, your identity is kind of fixed there. And also, we don't talk enough about how we grew up in our families. The personality that we developed. And it's good that you raised that as well, because I've been speaking about that quite a lot when it comes to surviving corporate. We carry that into work as well, and it's how we deal
hmm
with conflict. It's how we deal with any issues at work. It's how we show up. And then now for you to come from that supporting role and then being known as this in work to be invisible, it's a big step to
it
say that I
is.
am now going to step into the spotlight and have people look at me as an authority, as a leader. So yeah, good on you for that. The thing is, I would say is that sometimes the identity that we think we have that others have of us is not always the that identity that's held, because we know what we think about ourselves. Because at first glance, I didn't think that you were worried at all about being in front of the camera. So yeah, so it was when you see that and then you look, I guess we're all like onions, though we have different layers, and then when you peel back
Mhm.
the layer and you think, okay, yeah, there's something there that needs to be looked at. So, how would you describe the coaching experience itself? So, going through the 90 days, how was that for you?
Okay, so the first word I would say is organized, and I mentioned before how important that is for me. Um, it was We were able to consistently make pathways into things that really helped me to move forward on what I wanted. Apart from consistent, we were also able to. I found it was powerful is such a vague word, but maybe transformative because I was able to take things that I understood before, but now filter them down, distill them, and use them in ways that were more productive, that helped me to be more effective. So even in some of the ideas that you were some of the ideas I would have come to you with like big picture ideas, like I want to do this and I want to do that, and this is how I see it. And then, the questions you asked me were able to help me to break it down into like bite-sized, action-sized um
Mm.
things to move forward. And some of them were really easy fixes. And I was, going around the mountain for a long time. And it just took you helping me to distill them, break it down a little bit, and then we're able to move
Mm.
forward. So transformational, that would have helped me to move. And then also it helped me to build a lot of self-trust. And then I am somebody who understand how self-esteem and self-confidence works, based on my background and the work that I do in coaching. Apart from that, I believe in myself tremendously, but
Mm.
I recognize also that the work that we were able to do together, I was able to build a lot more trust in myself because I was showing up for myself. Every time we had a coaching call, I was showing up for myself.
Yeah.
You were there with me and you were holding my hand, you were keeping me accountable, and accountability is something that is huge for me. Um, and this was me walking my talk. Like all of the things that I encourage other people to do, I had to do it with you. And coming out of it, I felt real good. I was like, yeah, I know. I'm just talking about this. Like I did this for 12 weeks. And to go along with the consistency thing, I would say to anybody who's interested, and maybe I'm jumping ahead here, but anybody who's interested in doing this coaching, going ahead to do the program, the various programs that Coach Rachel has, the work works when you work. So if you are working with a coach, you have to do the work as well. The weeks when I would have taken time during the week to prepare for our meetings went much faster. The weeks when life was happening and I'm busy, and then
Yeah.
Friday evening I'm scrambling to, because we used to meet on Saturday mornings. Friday evening I'm scrambling to put things together. The coaching call was not as effective, and I know that was on me because I was not prepared. So you were guiding me and keeping me accountable, and I recognized this would go a lot easier if I just do the work. And that's what I did. And I'm thankful for that because on my own, there's no way I would have been. It's easy to say, yeah, I'll look at it after. Oh, yeah, I think I know what's happening. It's easy to do that. And no amount of knowledge. Remember, I'm certified in coaching, but I still needed somebody to keep me accountable so that I can get to where I needed to be. And when I did that, and when I recognized the work works, hello, I felt way better as a person. So, I mean,
Mhm.
people, you would find that, and if somebody's a coach and they're working with you, would find that one of the things you would come up against the most is people contradicting who you say you are. So you say,
Mm.
I say I'm a joy coach, and then there's somebody who's always trying to say, well, she does be rough for me, or she does. There's
Mm.
always somebody trying to disprove who you say you are. So
Yeah.
whatever area you are bringing value into the world, there will be these minions always trying to say
Mhm.
you're not that person. And the only way to let those people shrivel up and go in a corner is for you to know who you are. And so
Mhm.
that work, those weeks that we went through it, and I was up early and I was talking through this, and when I finished, I was doing the work afterwards and implementing the things we talked about during the week, and I saw the results, and I saw like you helped me with monitoring the insights on social media, you helped me with like recognizing how to really stay on top of my coaching in all areas, not just the content that I'm preparing, but also the way I am interacting with new and potential
Mm.
clients. That truly helped me. And it made me into the person like 12 weeks later, I'm like, yeah, I can do this. And yeah, there will be a time that I am gonna continue developing because personal development, I believe in it. I'm going to
Doesn't
continue.
stop.
It never stops. But just looking back to know that 12 weeks ago, I didn't know as much as I did, and I didn't feel as good as I did about this. So,
Mm.
the coaching program really helped me to optimize the things that I already knew, and it also helped me to build on confidence. And that's something that I'm really thankful that you were able to help me with, and we were able to accomplish
Mm.
together. So thank you for that.
And so you've touched on two questions that I was going to ask, because one was going to
Okay.
be, and maybe you can decide which one you want to go for first. So one was going to be, were there any moments, exercises, or conversations that felt particularly impactful or pivotal? And then I was going to ask what has changed for you as a result of the coaching. So I don't know which one you want to go for first.
Okay. Uh, I'll go in the order that it was asked. So if you just ask me again the first
So
one.
were there any moments, exercises, or conversations that felt particularly impactful or pivotal for you? Or, what was it during those 12 weeks? Was there a time when a light bulb came on, or you thought, oh, okay, this is impactful. This changes how I think about things?
Can I say every week? That would be accurate. But okay, to be serious, I think that truly every time we met, I felt as though I learned something new. And but one of the weeks that there's the two. One of the weeks I found really helped me, and I still follow through with it now, is you did a 7 pillar thing for me to show me.
Mm,
So that's a practical thing I can follow through. And even when I'm building out what I put on the website, how I approach people, how I interact with clients, I recognize that it's not a touch and one touch and done.
yeah.
You have to keep, going back, and then you could build all of the things that you already have, you can build it into something better and
Mm,
something bigger, right? So you use your steps and you keep going instead of feeling overwhelmed by the process of thinking you need to like have 100 different offerings or whatnot, but
mm, yeah.
you take your time and you build each thing into the other, and that helps in everything. Recycling content, people understanding your consistency,
Mhm.
people understanding your messaging, that really truly helps. So there was that. And then there was a conversation we had I just had it in my head and went right back out. Ah, God. So we had a conversation around visibility. Um, God, I had a specific point, but a lot of the
Mm,
conversations we had around visibility really helped me. It's ironic how you could be confident in a lot of areas because I don't believe confidence is something that I struggle with because I believe confidence is very practical. The more you do
mm,
something, is the
yeah.
better you get at it. And so what I recognize is that I was not practicing like showing up or speaking about who I am. So I'll share information and I'll just, that's it. It doesn't need to be that people need to see me or contact me after. And I didn't even realize I was out here just sharing stuff and not saying,
Mm,
well, contact me or I can help, I can work with you more. And all of this was linked to this lack of understanding of how visibility work.
yeah. And
And
visibility with intention as well. Yeah.
yeah, instead of just, being out here and just sharing information. So once I got that, I immediately started seeing the
Mm,
the gaps. Like, okay, if you are saying something to people, what is the next step? If they're intrigued with what you're saying, how do they work with you? What are you offering? Why are you out here talking on the internet? Like
yeah.
if you are not trying to get people to work together. And then this I just remember the point is that mm, your work is worth something, so you have to put a price tag on everything that you do.
Mm,
It's not just
yeah.
out here free timing it or just giving everything away. And while yes, I believe I'm a generous person, I also recognize I can't rob. It's almost like I'm robbing myself if I keep, giving things away and not having clear ways that people could
Hmm.
compensate for it. So when we share things, when we share information, we should sit, and there's nothing wrong with it. We should always have a way where people can pay you for what you're doing. And so that made me really settle down and get my offerings together, get my um packages together so that when I work with people or when people are interested in working with me, they can easily start working with me and start getting compensated for that.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Oh, thanks for sharing that. But yeah, that was a important part as well, where you spoke about not robbing yourself, because when you think about, as a coach, the investment that you put into yourself, other people also have to see the benefit of investing in themselves as well.
Hmm.
And you don't invest in yourself time, actual resources, money, and then just give it away for free, because a lot of the times people will never see the value of it and the value of what they hold as well. So, yeah, it's really important. So the other question was, what has changed for you as a result of this coaching?
Okay, so the biggest thing for me is the visibility.
Mm.
I am I am Anisha Jones. I'm a transformational coach. I'm your chief joy officer, and that's a name that we coined together, y'all. That came right out of our coaching session, the chief joy officer. It just felt right and it clicked, and I was able to move forward with that. And a year ago, there's no way I would have been, saying I'm a chief joy officer on, in these LinkedIn streets that I'm a chief joy
Exactly.
officer. Like, what do you say? But it feels so in tune because this is something that I truly believe in. I believe joy is a personal and professional KPI. It should be. It's one of the ways we can measure how good we're doing life by how joyful we are. And so everybody should include it in that, in their personal KPIs. And that being willing to be visible allowed me to realize that, yeah, you are able to say this. You are able to
Hmm.
go out there and ask people to do this because that's what you truly believe in.
Yeah.
And so the struggle I had between what I believed about myself and what I believed that I can share with the world, and actually me going out there and saying, I was able to overcome that. So, you know, for a long time, I would have been back and forth with like, if I say this, how will that sound? Or if I say that,
Hmm.
how it might affect other people. And I didn't even realize that it was so much that played such a huge role for me. Like it's
Hmm.
for a long time I would kind of dilute what I'm saying or water down what
Yeah.
I'm saying because you don't want to offend anybody. You don't want to put something up and people think you're talking about them. Well, that's life. You're gonna have
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
live to deal. At this point, I stand on what I say. I believe in what I say. I believe that um what the world needs is people who are authentically living their lives. And what I need for myself, for my soul, for my joy is to show up authentically as me and to
Hmm.
show up because we all have something
Hmm.
to give to the world. And every time we make ourselves small or we shrink back or we hold back or we don't do what we need to do because we're afraid, when you get down to it, it's self-doubt and fear.
Mm.
It really it puts a crack into your personality and it messes up who you're supposed to be for the rest of the world. I just believe that we're all here helping each
Mm.
other, walking each other home. But as you walk each other home, there's some days the sun gonna be on you and you have to be able to shine. So,
Yeah.
so my fundamental
Mm.
role of connecting people, of building meaningful relationships, of encouraging people to take inspired action, because that's what I do with my accountability program. That's what I do with the main character coaching package. To stand in your light, it's okay to stand in your light, and standing in your light does not mean that you're dimming anybody else's.
Exactly.
Um, I had to embody that first, and so this program really helped me to do
Mm.
that, to see that Yes, if you believe in something, you have to come out there and say it. You have to
Mm.
stand on business, so to speak.
10
And
toes, yeah.
yeah,
And I think the
and
identity is huge
yeah.
for you, for other people. And I mean, you're a transformational life coach. I'm a
Mhm,
transformational life coach. And I remember when we came up with Chief Joy Officer, it was just like, this is what is going to help you stand out as
mhm,
different in the
mhm,
field because
mhm,
there are so many other people who could help, but what do you
mhm,
do specifically? And we
mhm,
all need, and the thing is, it's for other people to understand this is what Anisha stands for. These are her values. This is where she's
mhm,
coming from, but also for you to understand as well. And that's why I did that identity is for others, but also for you as well to know that you can stand,
mhm,
and say it with your whole chest, say
mhm,
it 10
mhm,
toes.
mhm,
This
mhm,
is who I am. And then with that authenticity, you can stand on your platform and be visible without wondering, as you were saying, who's thinking this or who's saying this, because you know exactly who you are.
mhm,
So yeah, and I remember that conversation when it all came up and it was just like, oh, the light bulb, it came. It was just like,
mhm,
that's who you are. And I could see it in you. And
mhm, mhm.
where you've
It
just said about,
shifted.
walking in the sun and being able to shine is so important because there's so many other people who are shining as well, but you're able to hold your own, and that's what we all have to be able to do. Yeah. So you kind of touched on it before, but one of the last questions is, what would you say to someone who's feeling stuck, feeling burnt out, questioning their next chapter, and they're unsure about whether they should invest in coaching? What would you say to them?
Okay, so the first thing I would say to someone who is feeling stuck or burnt out, it's valid. Your feelings are valid. If you're tired right now, if you're feeling as though a lot of the things are happening around you and you're not sure, it's valid. I don't want you to ever feel like, oh my gosh, something is wrong with me for feeling like this, or ever feel like that, because there's so much distractions in the world right now, and we are tired. Okay. Women are carrying a lot,
Yeah.
and we're not able to compartmentalize as our male counterparts. And I love my men. The men know this. I love them. Whatever I do when I have events, I always include my guys because I don't want to know what a world would be like without my men. I love them,
Mm,
but they're much better compartmentalizing. When stuff happening, they put that in a box and they go about their business. And women, we are, we our relationship going slow, and we put on some lipstick and go to work, but somewhere in the back of our mind, we're thinking about
yeah.
that conversation that we had with this guy that's going back and forth with us, like what is going on. You thought you showed up as your best self, but he's not showing up. So you're carrying around that. You go to the supermarket, and then you're carrying around the guy that's going back and forth with you. You're also carrying around the person that pissed you off at work.
Hmm.
You're carrying around the person who cashing out your grocery that doing like she can't swipe the card, right? You're carrying around all that. That's how we are as women. So by the time you get home, you're tired. And of
Hmm.
course, when you're home is where you're supposed to recalibrate and get yourself back together and move forward. But you reach home and there's laundry, and then there's the dishes to do, and you have to cook for tomorrow, please God, and you're tired. And then there's TikTok, and you pick up your phone and you doom scroll, and then the day is
Right.
gone. And you wake up in the morning and you feel that heaviness, like, oh my God, what next? And I'm saying it because I know that I've lived that and felt as though, what am I doing? What am I doing, or what
Mm,
do I need to be doing? Feeling stuck. So it's valid. Don't feel as though something is wrong with you. However, awareness is the first thing. Recognize that this is how you feel. Don't try to push it aside. Don't try to doom scroll it away. Don't try to
mm,
delete it away. Recognize this is how you feel and it's valid. And when you get that feeling, ask for help. As women, we always feel like we try to do everything on our own. I am so glad that that is no longer part of my personality. This
mm.
superwoman has to be like that. Is to try to help
Yeah,
everybody.
it's
Telling
great.
you, if you're a person and you're feeling stuck, ask for help. Ask for help. As many people as you need to, as many times as you need to, ask for help. The persons who are not willing to help you, just not willing to help you. Don't take it as a personal thing. Don't feel offended. Ask for help. And one of the ways you could ask for help is by getting into a coaching program.
Mm,
You can start by figuring out what area you want to be get that improvement in. If it's health, start by looking at YouTube, start by taking approach a coach, go to the gym. If it is mindset, and I do believe that once you start fixing your mindset is like the banner, and everything else gets better when your mindset is fixed. So which is where transformational coaching comes in, because once you start approaching things differently, everything what you do with one thing, you do with all things. That's how I see it, right?
Yeah.
So if you're feeling stuck, you get the help that you need by asking for help, by getting clarity on what you want, first of all. First is really the clarity before you ask for the help. Get the clarity. What area do I want to fix? And when you get that clarity, then you go and you ask for help wherever you need it.
Mm.
Um, you can approach Coach Rachel or any other person that you need to, but I strongly suggest that you use Coach Rachel, because I am a living testimony. Work for me. I can say that my life is 100% better because of us working together. I'm seeing results. I'm living results of it. But yeah, that stuck feeling is just it's valid, and all you need to do is to take steps, take some action towards getting clear-minded and getting excited. Can I add just this one
Mm.
thing apart from when you get the help? One of the best ways you can help yourself is to just be excited and joyful about life. Imagine, and know when a lot going on, that's hard to do. But even if it's for 5 minutes, so they just take a minute and say, if my life was perfect, what would it look like
Mm.
now? What would it look like now? And it is
Yeah.
amazing how you're able to pull that into your life when you just take the time to see, well, okay, what would my most joyful life look like? Just take a time and do that. And you'd recognize, oh, but I kind of have some of the things already that would be joyful.
Right.
And so you're able to lay that down and then focus in on moving past the overwhelming
Mm.
areas that you're feeling stuck in, and you can move forward. But coaching is a valid and valuable
Mm.
way to help you to become unstuck. So
Mm.
definitely that.
And coaching takes investment, time and
Yes,
money.
that's
And
true.
I know I've sat there and I've thought I really want to do this coaching program, but there is a money aspect to it as well. So even sometimes you can feel motivated. What would you say to somebody who's sitting there and thinking the investment? And this doesn't mean you just go throw money away, but when you know that this is the step you need to take, what would you say to someone?
Yeah. So we all that's a very valid question. And money is a thing that we tend to be fearful around. But not nothing changes if nothing changes. And so if you are interested in getting meaningful change in your life, it's going to take investment. It's going to take you saying, okay, I have to reprioritize some things so I could get space for this in my life. So while I was doing the program, there are certain things that I just was not doing. I wasn't going out as much. And I also, I mean, I budgeted for it, but if you're somebody who's trying to get involved in coaching, um, it will take a sacrifice of money, but we spend money in ways that are
Yeah.
that does not come back with as much returns. I'm not saying not to go out. I'm not saying not to, you know, get other things done. But if you are really interested in getting this coaching done, you'll be amazed to see how creative you could come up with,
Mm.
how creative you could be to come up with solutions to get at. So it will require a investment, but the return on investment on personal development is invaluable. You are
Mm.
becoming a better person for yourself, for your family, for your workplace, for your business, for the world. You can't really put a price tag on that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we spend money on effects. We spend money on I don't know, curtains. We spend money on things anyway. But when you improve yourself, you improve your whole life, and you're
Mm.
able to you'll be surprised to see how you're able to actually earn more to get all of those things to go to the feds, and not go to the feds and
Exactly.
come back
Yeah.
home feeling your same sad, stuck self, because now
Mhm.
you're light and you're free, and you know what the next step is. You know what you're gonna do in your business. You know how you're gonna approach a problem that when it comes to you. It's a whole
Mm-hmm.
different type of life. And it's right outside of the investing in
Mm-hmm.
yourself. And it's worth it. And likewise with
Mm-hmm.
the time, like I mentioned before, when I was prepared, the work works when you work. When I was
Mm-hmm.
preparing for my coaching sessions, it went much easier. I was able to get the links faster. I was able to, really optimize whatever we were doing, pick up very quickly what Coach Risha was putting down. I was able to get it because I was doing the work, and that's important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because two things that just brought to mind is where you say every coach needs a coach. You're a coach,
Yes.
need a coach. I need a coach too. But then also, although we have the skills, the talent, the knowledge, sometimes it does really help to have somebody else to pull it out of us, to hold us
Yes.
to account, to do that. And if we're feeling stuck, it's going to take a certain level of investment to move past that layer.
Uh-huh.
Because a lot of the times, we can find things on YouTube, you can find things all over the place, Instagram, everywhere, but nobody is going to speak directly to you with what it
Uh-huh.
is that you need to help you get past your barrier as well. So, yeah, it's really important when it comes to, do you take the time to invest in yourself to get past that layer so that you can feel free? And like you said, you will get back a lot of this, so much more by investing, by moving forward, which is going to unlock you and help you be able to do things past that stage that will
Uh-huh.
bring more back to you. So yeah, thank you. So is there anything else about, sorry, go on. You're going to say something.
I wanted to just expand on what you said about you can get it on YouTube, and this is so true. Um, when you work with a coach, the difference between getting picking up something on YouTube and a coach working with you is light years of difference,
Mm,
right? And until you get into that place, I'm not sure if you'll be able to really get it, but I can tell you, I'm somebody who's a lifelong learner. So yes, I love the University of YouTube, and I invest in personal development, I invest in certifications and whatnot. But when you are working with a coach one-on-one, like we did, the 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 closeness, that accountability thing, that better understanding, it's like you are carving out a space for yourself. I think life responds to that intentionality. I was showing up every week, and you there's nothing that YouTube could provide that can give you that kind of support and that kind of feeling as though this is customized just for me. This is Anisha problems we're
mhm,
dealing with. This is the Anisha struggles. This is the things that she needs to strengthen. YouTube is for the millions of people that watch
mm,
it. But this is a coach that is customizing solutions for you.
mhm. Yeah.
So if you're serious about being unstuck, about not having the same leap loop year this in 2026, you don't want to you could have a next year, you could have a new year. If you really want a new year, you need to be able to
Mm,
take the time off, see where you could get the resources that you need, and invest in a one-on-one coaching session, coaching program to help you to really move forward. The difference between that and every other option is there's
mm,
there's no there's no comparison between the two.
yeah. Mm. Well said. When it comes to cooking, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So is there anything else you want to share about your journey or experience that might feel important to say?
Well, I want to just reiterate that the work works when you work. So when
Mm-hmm.
you are in a coaching program and you have a coach, there's no quick fixes. There's no saying that, oh, the coach is not doing the work. The coach is helping you to do the work. So it's really important that you take the responsibility and take the time and be really intentional about what you want out of it. And when you get that intentionality going, you would see how things align and things just flow out for you. It it always works when you are doing the work. And I would also want to reiterate the return on investment for personal development when you work with a coach is you we can't really have a way of describing it, but you would know it, you would feel it, you would recognize by the way you approach problems, by the way you approach opportunities, even opportunities. When somebody invites you to, you know, give you a seat at the table, when somebody approaches you to help them with something, you're a lot more confident, you understand because you had somebody walk you through what possible setbacks could be. So you are walking the talk with this person because you've been coached through it. So it makes a difference for your business. It makes a business difference for your life. The self-trust again that you
Mm.
you know yourself because you've been through this and you're able
Yeah.
to show up for people better when you do that. So yeah,
Mhm.
I'd just say coaching is worth it. And if you really want 2026 to be different, I would strongly suggest you try it.
Mhm. Thank you for sharing your experience on the 90 day on working with me for 90 days. So how do, oh, I should say, do you know what? I've asked you how it was for you. I did say how it was for me. It was absolutely lovely working with you.
Oh,
It was really nice. I must say you were my first client in Grenada. So
okay.
that was really nice as well to work on. So I've had one-off coaching sessions, but to actually do a full coaching program with somebody in Grenada, you were the first. So that was a really nice experience as well. Um, and working with you was really lovely just to see certain things that unfold. And now that I'm even speaking to you here and here, because there were some weeks where it kind of felt a little bit tense, where there were some things and I'm thinking, okay, is she okay? What's happening here? But then when I'm hearing you speak now about, the days when the weeks when you did the work, the weeks when you might not have did it, I can kind of go back to, yeah, I know there was a lot going on some weeks. And it really does just show, how putting in the work or what's happening in just life can affect how we move forward as well. But from the first time that we actually spoke to watching you go through the program, it was really lovely. It was like looking at, I mean, you had the flower already, but it was just like looking at it unfold, and it was just beautiful to see and to move from. I really respected what you were doing with 5 years to 40 when I looked into it, and I thought that's really beautiful. But then to see that just and then the word itself, season, there's so much, it's seasoned and you're seasoned to soar. It was really lovely to see that develop, and it was really it was beautiful to be a part of that as well, to help you walk through that, put that together, to see the launch come about. And then I was at the launch as well, and then just to
Yes.
see you putting it, that was a beautiful experience for me as well. So
Yes.
I'm grateful to have been able to work with you through that too. So yeah, it was a really lovely experience for me.
Thank Thank
Yeah.
you. That means
So, Coach Anisha, how do people work with you? How do they find you? Do you want to share?
okay. I can. So I am Anisha Jones on LinkedIn, and I am Season to Sow on Instagram. And those are the best ways to keep up with my content right now. I have a website, it's Your Season to Soar. I'll send a link for all of this. So if you're interested
Yeah.
in working with me, even if you just want to find out or be added to my mailing list, which is a great way to keep up, I send out monthly emails to my followers just to let them know what's happening. Right now, we're presently in the middle of a Questions for Clarity mini series. So if you join the mailing list right now, the Season to Soul mailing list, you will be getting a weekly update of all the prompts that we've been asking ourselves to help us to be clear-minded and excited about 2026. We're not going into 2026 lackluster. We're going in clear-minded and excited. Uh, because we're grown folks, so we should be feeling good about
Mm.
our new year. We would not have to feel afraid or anything like that. But these questions are just meant to help us to think about what's going on, talk about it with your friends, and journal. I strongly suggest journaling because journaling is a lifesaver. But you will be able to keep up with me on LinkedIn and keep up with me on Instagram, two best places for now. And yeah, I'm looking forward to working. You'll also be able to see the programs I offer. So I'll be looking forward to working with you all. And just one little thing that I have an accountability program that runs for 12 weeks, where we get together as a group. It's a very intimate setting, and people are able to work on their goals. And if you're interested in that, it kicks off on January 20th. So the link will lead, the link that I'm
Yeah.
sending to Coach Risha will also have that information. So yeah, that's what's happening.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for sharing that.
You're very welcome.
That's where we can find you.